What's going on, Soul Family? It's your boy Damien back with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about the magician, the shadow magician, and the fool. Now, the magician is a very mysterious character. Now, there are a lot of different definitions of a magician depending on who you talk to and uh, the aspect they're coming from with the magician. Now, we're not talking about your traditional magician that has magic tricks and pulls a rabbit out of a hat. And I'm not specifically talking about like the direct magician related to like say tarot. And I'm not talking about uh, a magician here that is uh, some type of manipulator or something like that, or an illusionist, or I'm talking about the spiritual magician. And I'm going to break this down the best way I can from the connected aspect it's coming from. Now, the magician is what I call the creator of change. The magician is like a ghost because the magician can be here today and gone tomorrow. And what I mean by this, I don't know if you guys ever witnessed somebody like come into like the spotlight of like a social media or something, and these guys, this person made like a wave, and then they just completely disappeared, and not even disappeared in a way that people noticed they disappeared, because the wave they may have created was so subtly impactful that people people didn't realize it until over time. And the magician kind of moves like this. The magician is the creator of change because they are like the silent, they're like a silent investor in a business, but their business is the magic show. And the magic show is the creation that they're here to give. And no one will truly ever know that they are responsible for certain things, but they are very much responsible for this ripple effect that's occurred in, let's say, the world. And these are the people that play the background and don't usually take like a center stage. The magician is not like this person that is that desires fame like the traditional magician that's an illusionist that's center stage. The spiritual magician is a person that doesn't truly desire fame or even recognition. They love the art of creation and the magic show. And the magic show is the ripple effect of change. Like I said, they're like a silent investor, a silent influence. And if we go back to like people that pop up on social media, and this is just an example, somebody pops up on social media, causes a wave, then the next thing you know, they're walking with monks in India. And you're like, wasn't that the person that was on the internet talking about this or that? And now they're walking with monks in India? Or they may have uh, been a person that was like, say, some life of the party, like, and then the next thing you know, this person is off living in like living off the grid somewhere, and they're a farmer now. And you're like, what was that the person that used to like we used to go out and turn up with, and they used to draw all these crowds or something? Now they're like out there and they're farming. Is this the same person? And the magician is kind of like mysterious like this, mainly because the magician is usually multi-layered, and people may think like the magician is switching up, but there's multiple layers to the magician, because the magician's role is to serve the true spiritual magician is to serve humanity in a way that evokes some positive change. Now, the shadow magician is the person that it becomes the manipulator and the person that silently creates all this manipulative game for selfish purposes. The true magician creates change for basically, it usually works out for the betterment of others. And the magician enjoys this because the magician likes to see the impossible tricks. So the magician plants seeds to see if these seeds can grow in a very magical way, in an impossible way, and do the impossible. So the magician enjoys the show. And the magician basically enjoys the game. And the game is seeing if the seeds will sprout in the manner of what the magician sees. And what the magician sees is out of worldly because of the magician. And there's a lot that I can say I totally don't know about the magician. Because the magician is like a ghost. And what you believe the magician to be, the magician could be something else. But the magician is very impactful. And you don't realize how impactful the magician is until the magician is gone. Poof. Now, I'm going to let you guys check out this old video that I talk about the magician, the shadow magician, and the fool, because the fool is very much related to the magician. And the fool is related to the magician because uh, the fool is a descended version of the magician. So the magician is an elevated version of the fool. So check this video out. Turn the fool into the magician, because ultimately the fool does become the magician, or the fool becomes the shadow magician, or he becomes so upset and so disturbed from his own experience that he doesn't want to help anyone, he doesn't want to share anything. He's only going to evoke criticism to others because he internally criticizes him or herself. And this is the shadow magician. You wield all this power because you've been traveling the path. You met with the fool, and instead of looking at it from the perspective of your own self accountability and what you can do with it, you blame them, him, her, or the whole world. And you fall into frustration. Are you going to turn into this shadow magician? Are you going to free yourself with the same wine you've been given? and also free others.